Hello everyone, and welcome to the 2025 Halloween event in Forge of Empires. If you didn't like the last event, the Fellowship event, because of how time intensive it was, or because of how weak the event building was, you're going to really enjoy this event because this will take about 5 minutes every day, and the event building is very good. So let's get into it. This is the main event page. Slightly different from some past years. I think in the past we've done going through like a maze type thing with some fog cover, and there's like these weird, scary toys that you have to find. Or there was another year where we did card battling and stuff like that. This mechanism they've used before. Uh, the one that I'm most familiar with was like a pirate event where there's like a spinning wheel and you're throwing knives at this wheel. So basically what you do is you choose to either throw a quote-unquote knife at these prizes. You'll win one of the prizes randomly. It costs 2 tickets to throw a knife. I'm not sure exactly why they chose 2 tickets to throw. I'm not sure why they couldn't just do 1 ticket per throw. I'm not the game designer, so I don't know the answer. Just curious. So you can see what's on the board right now. Some of the prizes are already taken off. So, for example, this prize of 3 cat charms is gone. The 1-up is gone, but all that you see still highlighted is available. You can also choose to refresh the wheel and then throw. So another aspect is that you can throw multiple knives at one time, possibly to get one of the rare items on the wheel before your neighbor gets it. You're playing against everyone in your neighborhood at the same time. Everyone is throwing at the same wheel. So throwing multiple at the same time just, I guess, gives you a better chance of, getting something before someone else. So then we have daily tasks, which are refreshing every day. You can't refresh them by purchasing something or anything like that. The one thing I like about the daily tasks is that 3 of them actually have to do with the event, but then 3 of them you can do in your city. So, for example, these last 2 finish 4-hour productions and win 15 battles. You can do those without having to spin the wheel or anything like that, which I think is good because you only have a limited amount of tickets. There is no limit of tickets you can hold at one time. In the past, some events have given you more tickets or more currency based on like a 6-hour wait time or 8-hour wait time. This is not the case. You can only get tickets from quests and incidents, or you can purchase them. So that's the one thing that I highly want to highlight, is that definitely go around, click on incidents, make sure that you find as many as you can. If you have a lot of really tall buildings in your city, there's this flat mode that you can use, and you can find some incidents on your roads. Unfortunately, I'm not finding any tickets, but I did find some earlier today. So definitely keep track of how many tickets you have. I would not suggest throwing more than you need to in order to complete the daily tasks, just because there's not really a reason to progress if you're not finishing daily tasks. Obviously, some people do, because right now I've stopped and I'm still at the hobby level, and some people are already at the 1% in the league table. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's talk about what's important: the prizes. So this new everything has to be a store thing is not gone. Um, so we have the Halloween store, and you can purchase. There's 2 types of currency: bat tokens and cat charms. So you can purchase bat tokens with cat charms. I would suggest against it, and this is why. This first building, the Rattlebones Graveyard, there's 2 levels. This is level 1, and this is the upgrade for level 2. This is the best building that you can get as a quote unquote free to play, or without spending a ton of money. So this is definitely what I would go for. It costs cat charms. Unfortunately, I don't have enough cat charms to get the first level, and it's on heavy discount right now, so hopefully it'll go on discount again. But these 2, as you'll see later in the spreadsheet, are definitely some buildings to go after. The rest of the buildings in the store aren't great. And like I said, I'll show that in the spreadsheet, but let's just go through them really quickly. The Enchanted Elixirs Emporium is decent. It takes up a 4x4 space, and it gives recharge for quantum incursion. Other than that, it's not that great. We have some upgrades to the Mad Scientist Lab, which I haven't seen in years, or at least I haven't used it in years because it's not that good. It's a production building that takes up a 4x4 space. There's so many production buildings now that take up 4 spaces or 6 spaces. You don't need a 16 square foot or square space production building. It's not needed, especially one that gives 1 forge point every 8 hours. We have buildings giving hundreds of forge points every day. The upgrades are gold and platinum. This one gives 30 every 8 hours, and this one gives 70 every 8 hours. If you go to the gold terrace farm, the gold terrace farm is giving like 110 every 24 hours. And it takes up not a lot of space. I think it takes up 12 squares. So just, I guess, to put in perspective. So then we've got the Black Tower, which I've also not used in a very long time. And you can upgrade it to a Gothic Tower or a Baroque Tower. This one gives a military room. I think that's probably the only really nice thing about it. It still takes up 20 spaces though. So still very space intensive. Then we've got some other older event buildings like Thrill Coaster. If you do not have the golden upgrade for the Thrill Coaster, I do actually suggest you getting that. That gives you a military building. And then we've got the next previous event building, which is the Laboratory of Monstrosities. The gold level for that is okay. I'm pretty sure I've gotten rid of mine in my city, but if it's strong enough, then you can put it in yours. What the good thing is that a lot of these lower buildings or upgrades are for bat tokens and not for cat charms, which are more rare. So then we've got Arcane Tarot Card Caravans, the other golden upgrade. This one only takes up 20 spaces, but it's not great. Then we've got the Abandoned Asylum, and then a lot of the smaller, extra buildings from past events. Again, they're not great. I wouldn't really go for any other Halloween themed building other than those first 2 that I mentioned. So then we have Ascension upgrades. Those are good. If you're not sure what to use your bat tokens for, probably an Ascended upgrade. And then we've got some military allies. These I still have to get. I have 800 fragments, and I think this one I had 600. So at some point, maybe I'll try to get these. The one thing that I noticed was in past events, if you didn't want to use your tokens or currency on any buildings or allies or upgrades or anything like that, you could just use it on forge points. Unfortunately, that's not the case here. You can just get coins. You can technically purchase forge points with coins, but it's not quite the same for me, honestly. So there's the store that is now, I guess, normal, and here's the grand prizes. What also has been normal for quite some time now are the 3 tiers in the grand prizes. There's the free level, there's the silver level, and there's the gold level. The silver level is $15 US, and the gold level is $25 US. And you also get some diamonds, and then with the gold level, you get the silver level in addition. The one thing I like about these the purchased levels, is that you do get more tickets. So there's definitely a good reason to get the gold and silver levels. Um, you also get a lot of the ascended, buildings and um, platinum versions and stuff like that. So let's look at the event building. The event building is called the Boo Loon Spectral Fair. It has 9 levels. Yep. Um, attack and defense for attacking armies for both your normal army and the guild battleground army. 150 forge points, which is pretty good. 5x5 space. It gives some army units, and then also gives some fragments for the side buildings and the silver version. So if we look at the silver version first, you get more attack boosts and more forge points, more army units, and more fragments. And then, of course, the gold version, they always put a military room in. 250 forge points, which for my city would be like, I don't know, 4th or maybe 5th best as far as forge point production. And then more military units. So, like I said, not a bad event building. I think it's ranked pretty far up there. Um, so then we've got, well, of course, we've got the upgrade to the internal market. I am currently I believe I'm at the second last one. No, I'm at the red horizon. So my next upgrade is going to be the golden horizon. And then just one more after that, and then we start getting into the ascended upgrade, which is crazy, but we'll go after that another time. We've got some new military allies through all of the different tiers, and then we start getting into like the secondary buildings. So we saw there's the secondary buildings from past events. This is the secondary building from this event. It's called the Ascended Spooktastic Shakes. It gives attack and defense for defending armies both in Guild Battleground and Quantum Incursion. It also gives a Quantum Incursion coin boost and then some goods. And then the Ascended Beastly Burgers, that is attack for Quantum Incursion attacking army and attack and defense for Guild Expedition defending army. And then quantum supply production, some coins, some forge points, some army units. Not too bad of a building. We've covered the Gothic Tower, we covered the Mad Scientist. I think there's the Platinum versions of that, and then I don't think you can purchase the Ascended versions. So these are new, and these obviously make it a much better building. So it it adds capacity to your quantum actions, which is new as of a couple events ago, I think. And then really, really big boosts for attacking armies for both Guild Battleground and Guild Expedition. Over 400% army boost for that, which is really good. So maybe this is one of those things where if you have the Ascended version, that's when you put it in your city. But otherwise, I don't think it's worth just placing in your city for the long haul. And then same thing for this. Um, 200 forge points in 8 hours, plus 200 recharge for Quantum Incursion. That's pretty good. It also lasts 90 days. Same with the other Ascended building. So, those are definitely worth having. But again, they're pay locked, so if you're purchasing the tier, you're going to get them anyway. These are the non-ascended versions of what we just talked about, the Spooktastic Shakes um, and the Beastly Burgers. They're not worth placing non-ascended. Um, and then, of course, you get some different portraits, and you get the selection kits. I honestly didn't even put a lot of these in my spreadsheet for this year. Um, I mean, I guess I'll say the Sparkforge Stormspire gold level is pretty good. That's a decent one to place. I think the Monster Wares boutique is okay. Tower of Whispering Horrors, tarot card we already covered. The multi-building thing that I never really enjoyed. But yeah, a lot of these are from very, very old events. The House of Horrors is a very, very old event. Dark Doorway, stuff like that. So something to look into. If you think they're cool and you think they're worth it, by all means. But yeah, so I think that's it. There really aren't many unique prizes. Towards the end you start getting into potions or boosts, whatever you want to call them. Um, but yeah, it'll take a lot to get to this point if you're not spending money or diamonds. So the last place that we have prizes, of course, is the league table. Silver gives you those secondary prizes and a silver selection kit for the event. Um, all the top three, bronze, silver, gold, give you some fragments for the eternal market. And then, of course, there's a specialty top 1% building. I honestly didn't put this in the spreadsheet either, just because it's going to be the best. We know it's going to be the best. And you're going to get it if you spend money on the event. So if you do and you get it, congratulations. You have, again, one of the best buildings of this event. But I'd like to focus on stuff that more people can get. Like obviously the top 1% is only going to go to a certain amount of people. So anyway, I'm rambling. Let's get to the spreadsheet. So, as I mentioned, the Rattlebones Graveyard is far and away the best building in this event. It has an efficiency score of 287. The next highest score is the gold version of the event building at 162. The silver version is at 136, and the level 9 version is at 113. So that's it. That's the special event building right there. All above 100, which in my opinion is pretty good. I try to stay above 70 for my city now. And then even the level 1 of the Rattlebones Graveyard is at 109. Unfortunately, then it drops off. I don't have the Ascended version of the Laboratory or the Mad Scientist, which I'm just realizing now, unfortunately. Maybe I'll try to put a comment underneath the video on what those scores are, just like as a side note. But like I said, those would be something that you would put out only when you have that Ascension upgrade and not like just normally. Just because, I mean, if we look at it, let me see, the Baroque Tower is a score of 30, which I would say isn't worth the space. And then the Mad Scientist layer is down at 28. So if you're looking for like maybe 40 and above, there's the Abandoned Asylum. There's the gold version, the Eerie Nightmare Coaster from last year. Yaga's Roost was really good, and then the Ascended version of the Beastly Burgers. Those are like honorary mentions, I guess. So I will collect from these two because I don't want to miss them. And the one note that I guess I forgot to make, once you've finished 3 daily tasks, the rewards for the next 3 double. So I just got a ton more bat tokens. Like I said, I'll probably just purchase some Ascended versions. But yeah, so I guess we'll check out the storyline quest. Like I said, there's no limit to how many tickets you can hold at one time. So um, basically, you can go through this entire, well, not the entire quest line. You can probably go about halfway on the first day and just have, dozens of tickets to use, as you want. And then usually a little bit more than halfway through, they limit it to one new event every day. And then the last thing I wanted to touch on before we end the video is the rival challenge. I don't know how the rival challenge is going to be. I didn't play this event in beta. My guess is a couple different options. Either they're going to do one different rival quest every day, and then you'll just have to, do whatever the task says. It might have to do with the event. It might have to do with something in your city. It might be both. And it will give you, I'm assuming, tickets, because there aren't any special items or anything like we sometimes have in other events. So I'm assuming that you're just going to get more tickets, or maybe you'll get more tokens or charms or something like that. Maybe they'll give you the ascended, buildings or special buildings. I'm not sure, but I personally am going to focus on the daily tasks first, and then if I just so happen to, unlock something with the rival challenge, so be it. Um, the other option for the rival challenge is if they'll just give you a bunch of different stuff just straight through, and then you can like work your way through similar to this quest line. You can do multiple in a day. And then the last option is sometimes they'll only do a rival challenge on Tuesdays, which today is Tuesday, so we've missed today. Maybe they'll have one tomorrow, but most likely if they're only going to do Tuesdays, it's going to be next week. And then it'll be like multiple quests on that one day. It usually lasts about 48 hours, and then it's done, and it's the same thing. They'll award some type of prizes. Sometimes they award like fragments to the Eternal Market, or fragments to the gold versions or the silver versions of the event building, stuff like that. But we'll find out together, because even if they did something in beta, they don't necessarily have to do the same thing for the live version of this event. And that's why I like making videos of the event as they're released in live. Obviously, it helps out kind of seeing a sneak peek of it from the beta, but they do change things. I know a lot of the other YouTubers have the beta videos that come out, but um, a lot of times even they'll say that something has changed, or Forge of Empires has tweaked something because of the response that they got from the beta testers. Um, anyway, I digress. It's been a long day of the event. It's been a long video, and I will let you get to it. So with that, we'll end the video. Thanks very much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them below. I try to answer as many and as often as possible. If you liked this video and would want to see more, please like and subscribe. And if you haven't checked it out, I have unlocked membership for the channel. I'll try to do a membership video at some point, just to kind of highlight what you might get from membership. I might go live at some point, hopefully soon, if I can work that out. But anyway, I'll end it there. As always, keep on jamming.